Good morning, everyone. Happy 4th of July and Merry Stupid O'Clock. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're on holiday hours today, which is why I'm coming you so late. We're going back to that horrible world, folks, known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to see the link in there to the article the JRC doesn't want you to read. Yes, we are referencing once again the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by Autistics for Autistics, in which they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals from all over the world in regards to the quote-unquote behavioral treatment program at the Judge Rotenberg Center. In fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from their website. NeuroClastic has refused. There's been no updates whether JRC is going to seek to take the next step. So, because we be salty, and obviously there's something in there the Judge Rotenberg Center is really afraid of, please go ahead and share that on all your social media. You're also going to see in the description box the link to their NeuroClastic's public statement on the matter. And down at the bottom, you're also going to find I'm not awake. You're also going to find their GoFundMe that we got set up, well, Greg did, from Autistic Twitter, to help crowdfund them in case the JRC does take the next step and actually has the balls to. We also have the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of pupils with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, all right? All right, fabulous. It is 5:55 a.m. in my morning. I am not even remotely fucking awake. So if I stumble over my words, folks, apologies in advance, all right? Okay, so let's go to where we left off yesterday. Take a gulp now. Here comes the stupid. As stated previously, NYSED could not find evidence that this automated electric shock device has been approved or cleared for marketing by FDA. That's because it hasn't, folks. Let me tell you a little something. None of the current devices the JRC have been using for over the last fucking decade has any approval from the FDA. The only device that does is the original that comes back from the early 90s. I want you to think about that. They keep getting approval after approval to use these devices by everyone else except the department that has given the authority to actually regulate the use of medical devices. Isn't that interesting? And how the buck just keeps getting passed time and again. FDA registration is approval is required for devices that are sold to the public. JRC does not sell its devices and only uses them within its practice and therefore falls within an FDA exemption as found by an FDA investigator who reviewed JRC's program in 2000. But did they? They're lying to you, folks. They're lying to you. First of all, if you go through the FDA hearings and hear what the FDA have to say for themselves, yeah. What they approved was the original device from back in the 90s. It did not approve of the GED 3A, the GED 4A, and they sure as hell did not approve this automatic shock device. They are lying out their ass, and we got the receipts. Go to Autistic Hoya's massive archive. You're going to see a link in there to the FDA hearings in regards to banning the GEDs. And you'll be able to see in there for yourself exactly what the FDA has ruled on and what was being kept hidden for them, including this particular device, which was never even brought up once during the entirety of the hearings. Interesting, isn't it? Moving on. So what they're saying, but it falls into the exemption. They said so, does it? Because that's not what the FDA says. Moving on. NYSED has concerns regarding the long-term health and safety of the students, particularly those students who may receive multiple electric shocks as part of their behavior plan. Remember, these unannounced visits were all kicked off due to that lawsuit we read through that came from 2006. This is years after the Andre McCollins event. And they're still going to tell you, oh no, it's perfectly safe, even though their asses fucking knew. They knew. There has been medical documentation on it from the Andre McCollins case at this point. They knew. But let's see what kind of lies or pretzel logic they try to use to bend themselves out of this one, shall we? JRC has safely and effectively used the GED and GED4 devices with hundreds of students since 1990 and 1992, respectively. Bullshit. During the years 1990 and 1992, the GED3 and the GED4A were not in use. They weren't even fucking invented yet. The device that was used during those years, during that time period, was the original GED. And guess what, folks? It's still inhumane and cruel. You still had injuries. You still had students going to the hospital. They're fucking lying to you. No health or safety problems have arisen in over 15 years. Lie. Andre McCollins had third-degree fucking burns where those electrodes were placed. He also had to deal with temporary catatonia and lifelong PTSD and other neurological issues that they caused due to the stress of being shocked over 31 fucking times. There are over 100 professional peer-reviewed articles that support the safety and effectiveness of skin shock treatment to treat severe behavior disorders. Again, they're bullshitting you and they're gaslighting you. Because every single one of those 100 articles come from the JRC. There is no corroborative outside sources since the fucking 70s. We know because we've gone over it on this channel, in fact. It is made blatant and clear when you read through, again, the FDA hearings in regards to this matter. It's actually bullshit and it's bad for you folks. They can tote over 100 peer-reviewed articles all they want to. But those peer-reviewed articles are not actually peer-reviewed. What do I mean by that? Well, let's call them out on their lie, shall we? Come sue me, JRC. I'm fucking bored and I can use the entertainment. Just saying. Here's the facts. They're not peer-reviewed. The JRC skews the meaning of the term peer-reviewed by making people be lulled into a false sense of security, because what they mean by peer-reviewed is that everyone with the JRC agrees. Yeah, you heard that right. There is no outside fucking source since the 70s that corroborate them that these are perfectly safe. None. Literally none. Believe me, I've gone fucking digging. I've tried to find these miracle peer reviewers from outside of the JRC who 100% approve of their psycho. Not a single one, folks. Not a single fucking one. Not one. For fuck's sake, not even Arkansas, if you want to talk about the fucking boondocks. Not even in Arkansas, folks. It's a fucking lie. Let's move on. There are judicial findings in hundreds of cases before the Massachusetts probate court evidencing the safety and effectiveness of these devices. Again, they don't seem to understand that the Massachusetts probate court cannot rule on fucking safety of medical devices because they're not fucking doctors. They're not doctors. They're not psychologists. They are not ABA professionals. They're not professionals in occupational or physical therapy or any of the other areas of service. They're judges. They judge the law. They have no business ruling on the safety of medical devices that they do not understand or comprehend the consequences of. Quit throwing the courts in our faces, JRC. It doesn't work. It falls on the face of it. It really, really does. These people have no fucking business ruling on something like this, okay? But they said it's okay. Again, Massachusetts, Salem. Just because your court says it's okay and it's perfectly safe and unharmful, don't make it so. Your courts used to think it was okay to string up quote-unquote accused witches, okay? Y'all don't have the best track record in the world. Just saying. This is in contrast to the only other treatment available for severe forms of behavioral disorders, which is antipsychotic or other potent medications. Both medications have caused severe and permanent injuries to patients when used on long-term basis, such as liver and kidney damage, tardive dyskinesia, substantial weight gain, lethargy, drowsiness, etc. The June report does not state any specific concerns about the GED and GED4 devices. It does not give any examples. I'll give you the examples. Andre McCons. Jennifer Masumba. Would you like me to dig up all the DESI reports on abuse of power and abuse, period, and the torture and the insane shit you get up to behind closed doors, JRC? Because I can go all fucking day. I can go all goddamn day. But that's very loaded. Let's get into this, shall we? They're saying that we're it. We're all there is. All there other is medication. Lies. They're lying to you. That those are not the only two routes for severe behaviors. Those are lies. And how do I know those are lies, folks? Because I've worked in the fucking field. Okay? The options in regards to treating these types of behaviors, as someone who's worked in the field and as someone who's fucking autistic, is goddamn numerous. What has been found in the largest numbers to be successful are these other programs, depending on the particular consumer, such as person-centered planning, coupled with appropriate, proper medication, as catered to the individual. Let me say that again. Catered to the individual for their specific issues that they're needing assistance with. When you couple that with medication and reasonable accommodation and assistive devices, well, holy shit, those behaviors, how often they happen, fucking drop. They fucking drop, folks. Don't let them sell you their Kool-Aid. What the JRC wants you to believe is that the worst of the worst gets sent to their center, and nobody can help them but them, or otherwise their only alternative is to be a vegetable in a state hospital. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, folks, and it's the same line they have literally been using since the 80s. Although, once upon a time, that may have been true. It's been over 3 fucking decades, JRC. Your treatment methods have gotten students fucking killed. Period. And you all still take no fucking responsibility for what you have done. You have traumatized 3 fucking decades of disabled people in your school. You have caused death, suicides, severe PTSD, attempted suicides. The list fucking goes on. And as new therapies and programs and systems of treatment have evolved coming out of the 80s, the JRC has vetoed every single one of them. They have never used them inside of their school. They have never used person-centered planning. They have never used positive behavioral support. They can sit there and say, yes, we do. The token program is. No, you don't understand the concept of positive behavioral support as evidenced in your earlier bullshit in your report here. So no, folks. They're lying to you. They're using it as an excuse to continue to torture these kids. The UN Special Rapporteur on Torture has ruled, fucking count it, twice, that this is inhumane and cruel beyond all reason. Okay? And then on that note, after giving the JRC hopefully a heavy dose of fucking reality, we're going to close out this morning. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. Few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. We'll see you later.